And I may do that for Greenland too. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I'll give you a little, I'll take you out of that. In fact, that'll end up being the story. But actually, this is a much bigger story because we're reducing healthcare by numbers that you haven't seen. So I spoke to the top.
Greenland needs to be viewed as our ally, not as an asset.
A bipartisan delegation of U.S. lawmakers met the leaders of Denmark and Greenland in Copenhagen on Friday, following threats from President Donald Trump to take over Greenland. The 11-member delegation from the U.S. met with Denmark's Prime Minister and Greenland's Premier, as well as Danish and Greenlandic parliamentarians. Democratic Senator Chris Coons led the delegation.
And part of the point of this trip is to have a bipartisan group of members of Congress listen respectfully to our friends, our trusted allies and partners here in Denmark and from Greenland, and to go back to the United States and share those perspectives so that we can lower the temperature and have a more constructive dialogue about the best path forward.
Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski said taking control of Greenland was not a good idea.
It is important to underscore that when you ask the American people whether or not they think it is a good idea for the United States to acquire Greenland, the vast majority, some 75%, will say, we do not think that that is a good idea.
Trump has said Greenland is vital to U.S. security because of its strategic location and large supply of minerals, and has not ruled out the use of force to take it.
Yeah, we're talking to NATO.
On Friday, he told reporters the U.S. was in talks with NATO about his plan for Greenland. European nations this week sent small numbers of military personnel to the island at Denmark's request. Earlier on Friday, Trump said he may impose tariffs on countries that did not go along with his plan.
I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security, so I may do that.
Trump's special envoy to Greenland said on Friday he planned to visit the Danish territory in March, and that he believed a deal could be done. U.S. lawmakers, including some from Trump's Republican Party, have said they would back legislation to rein in Trump's ability to seize Greenland amid an ongoing fight over war powers. A bill in the Republican House of Representatives in support of annexing Greenland has also been introduced. Meanwhile, demonstrations were scheduled to take place in Danish cities and in Greenland's capital Nuuk on Saturday to protest against Trump's ambition to seize the Arctic island.
Pull out of NATO if it doesn't help you acquire Greenland. If it doesn't lead
Well, we're going to see. NATO has been dealing with us on Greenland. We need Greenland for national security very badly. If we don't have it, we have a big hole in national security, especially when it comes to what we're doing in terms of the Golden Dome and all of the other things. We have a lot of investments in military. We have got the strongest military in the world, and it's only getting stronger. And you saw that with Venezuela. You saw that with the attack on Iran, with the knocking out their nuclear capability potentially. So yeah, we're talking to NATO.
For us to say that today we do live in these 4 different nation states, and of Greenland have really had some challenges in terms of accessing hunting grounds and so on.
First of all, that we think that there's simply no such thing as a better colonizer. This is clearly formulated in a way that gives us a clear picture of how the U.S. administration views the people of Greenland, how the U.S. administration views peoples, indigenous peoples, and peoples that are few in numbers. And we have been rejecting that premise that you can buy and sell peoples. And we are looking at an issue that doesn't only apply to Greenland. It is an issue that is much broader. It is about how one of the biggest powers in the world views other peoples that are less powerful than them. And that really is concerning. And I've seen over the past weeks and months numerous expressions of support from fellow Inuit across the line, and also from many other indigenous peoples. And I think we all share the concern in the sense that we are seeing a repetition of colonialism and imperialism that we know, because we have already been colonized, and none of us want to be colonized again. I think that as Arctic leaders, be they state leaders, national leaders, or indigenous leaders like myself, we carry a very heavy burden on our shoulders right now to look carefully and think carefully about what will happen next, because we have maintained peace in the Arctic in spite of Arctic states being who they are. And we've been able to do so on the backdrop of the Cold War. Even before the end of the Cold War, states and indigenous peoples called for working together in a circumpolar way, so with everyone around the table. And we've established institutions and ways of working together based on a common understanding that we want to maintain the Arctic as a peaceful region where we cooperate on the basis of diplomacy. And all of these things are put at risk right now by an Arctic state.
Good.
A little tired after the flight.
Yeah. My wife decided that she would miss a meeting. Not this one, but the last one.
Okay, so what charge for this trip?
You met her at the... Yeah.
Please proceed.